time now for our rant. We've been doing a lot of rants and raves anyway. Rants and raves, starting with Dan.
This Dan.
Yes.
Okay. I have a rave for David Fahrenthold of the Washington Post, who all year has been doing tremendous, detailed, in-depth reporting on Donald Trump's alleged charitable giving, which turns out to be not nearly as great as Trump would have you believe. And it really kind of culminated last weekend in this fantastic, long story about the Trump Foundation, which in recent years he's essentially retooled so that he doesn't give any money to it. He just passes through other people's donations, and in one instance used Trump Foundation money to purchase a $20,000 picture of himself. People are already talking about Fahrenthold for a Pulitzer, and
Really?
He's doing fantastic work on this.
Straight grunt legwork, too.
Yes.
Nothing fancy, using the Twitter and the internet very effectively to search out more information.
Doesn't make a difference. Nothing seems to matter.
Nah,
We'll
nobody
see about
cares.
that.
Shirley.
I have a Trump-related piece about, this is about Ivanka Trump.
Oh, yeah.
This is props to Prachi Gupta, who works for Cosmopolitan magazine. You usually don't think of Cosmopolitan delivering hard-hitting political stories, but this reporter was one of the few who really took Ivanka to task on her father's child care policies and asked tough questions and really got under her skin. And it was a case where Cosmo didn't have to really publish it this way. They could have sanitized it and cleaned it up, but they chose to really, really show a different side of Ivanka that we haven't seen, because we've seen her as very polished,
Yes.
poised, and here you saw that she can get quite defensive.
Good. I haven't read it yet, but I will. Sounds good. All right, Dan Lothian.
Well, I have a rave for the police department in Ohio. Remember that photo that was released of the grandmother, and then there was another guy in the car. They had been allegedly using heroin and had passed out. There was a young boy in the back seat.
Right.
It went viral. Just this week, the grandmother was sentenced to more than 150 days behind bars, and also the driver of the car. But what I liked about this and what the police department did, and it was quite controversial because they released this photo. They did not black out the face of the 4-year-old. They wanted to make a statement that there's a major drug problem out there, and they want to show how ugly it is. And there's some newspapers that ran it, showing the face of the young boy. There were others who covered it up. But I think that it was, it's talking about a problem that we sometimes tend to sanitize, and they released it in a very sort of harsh, if you will, and brutal way, right in your face on social media. And I think that's a good thing, because not only for people who are using drugs, but also for lawmakers and others who need to be, the whole process needs to be shaken a little bit.
But why did we have to see the 4-year-old? That's what I didn't understand.
Right.
I mean, that could have been just as effective
Right,
with the 4-year-old face blacked out.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's what media outlets who did publish that blacked out the face.
I think the Globe and the Times pixelated it.
Most
They did
news
pixelate it.
organizations did.
They
which
did.
show
Some
that they-
did not.
Which show that they have a
But that's
greater
up to the
sense of
news organization, not-
responsibility than the
And that's
police.
what the
Right,
police department
right.
said, that it was up to those who...
Yeah,
who
which
were-
I
who were-
appreciate that.
Exactly. But I appreciate the effort, applaud the effort of the police department to make a very strong statement about a serious issue.
But the police department posted the picture of the child undigitized on their Facebook page, so it was available for everybody to see.
Right.
I wouldn't give, I think that was questionable.
Right.
All right, John.
I have a rave for Anderson Cooper of CNN, who proved during the primaries with his handling, I believe he did both a Republican and a Democratic debate and did an outstanding job with it. And he's been named as one of the moderators for the presidential debates. Well, Mr. Trump the other day told the Washington Post he didn't want Cooper there because he can't be fair. He's biased. He's I forget the exact adjective he used, but clearly he fears Anderson Cooper, which is another way of saying he fears intelligence, competence, and authority. And I certainly hope and expect the Presidential Commission on Debates won't back down from this. He is the perfect choice to moderate one of these debates, and the fact that Trump is terrified of him really tells you a lot.
Well said. All right. Well, I have a rant and a rave kind of here. This is sort of the perfect confluence of bad taste in local news reporting. So KGTV reporter Bree was covering a story about a woman who was murdered, a young woman, and her body was stuffed in a suitcase. While she was telling the story, she actually got out a suitcase and put her hands in it. to show how this woman's hair had been falling out, and this young man who was very traumatized by finding the body. So one of her competitors, here's my rave, at KFMB, Jean Kang, said that management at the competitive station encourages this kind of thing, and it's what gives local news such a bad name, and how tasteless and horrifying and awful it was, and that they'll do anything, for ratings and just to get the eyeballs. He's right about that.
That is
And this really this disgusting and horrifying, and let's hope nothing like that happens around here. All right, that is it for our show. Tell us what you think. Email us, tweet us, or leave a comment. We're always on at beatthepress.org.